In my last video, I talked about a 20-pound weight loss over a 10-week period of time that I accomplished mainly with the strategy of eating real food, prioritizing protein, and reducing my meal frequency. It took about 10 weeks to lose the 20 pounds, and at that point, I plateaued and stopped losing weight, felt tired, and so forth. So at that point, I decided to switch to a high energy model where I consumed more calories and moved more. And what happened was my weight loss remained, so I maintained the weight loss, and I felt a lot better and had a lot more energy and so forth. The main movement strategy that I switched to at this point was a kind of a density model for calisthenics training, high rep, high volume under time limits. And I've been with that approach ever since. About 10 more weeks now I've been at it, and honestly I have not worked on any calorie reduction or anything, and I've still maintained the weight loss. And in fact, I think I've moved the needle significantly on hypertrophy. How do I know this? Not objective, but because I don't really like weighing myself, but my belt is not tighter, but my shirts are. So I think hypertrophy is definitely improving here, and I'm not gaining fat. So I wanted to talk about that today, that training approach, and show you an example of what I'm doing. This is a density approach. Escalating density training, I think, is the technical term. You could also look into muscle endurance, or even pump training to some extent. There's some overlap, I think, with weightlifting. But this is essentially high volume in a strict time limit. So traditional sets and reps are not really, you drop that, and basically what you're trying to do is you set a period of time, and then you try to get as many reps as you can of an exercise or two in that period of time, and then improvement would be being able to do more reps in the same period of time, or doing the same number of reps in a shorter period of time. There's a lot of different ways to do this, and I've been kind of mixing it up. Today what I'm doing is a push-pull superset in a 30-minute period of time. You have to really be wise about how you plan out your exercises and your reps. You're going to want to pick an exercise that you can do, I would say, at least 10 to 12 repetitions before you get to failure. And then you're going to want to roughly pick half that number for each of your sets within the time window. And then you can get like an EMOM timer, EMOM, which is every minute on the minute. And then you can set it for every 2 minutes or however you want to do it. I'm doing diamond push-ups and jackknife pull-ups today, which are somewhat difficult, enough for me that I want to have more time between rounds, so I went with 2 minutes. So I did 15 total sets of 8 diamond push-ups and 8 jackknife pull-ups. Actually, in reviewing the video, I see that I've kind of ended up with a hybrid, sort of somewhere between jackknife, pull-up, and row, because I was a little too far back. So maybe I invented something like Australian jackknife or something like that. But anyway, and then once I built up enough fatigue that the individual sets within the 2 minutes were getting difficult, I switched to a simpler, easier version of the exercise. So I did my diamonds on a weight bench, and then I switched to rows from the jackknife hybrid. You could also just do fewer reps per set. There's a lot of ways to do this, but I ended up with 15 total sets over that 30-minute period of time. The pump that you get is amazing, and I really feel like I've improved in hypertrophy as well as conditioning and just overall athleticism. So this is a great thing to try. You don't want to try it as a beginner. You want to be at least advanced, intermediate to advanced, to give this a try. I'm going to be showing videos in the future of different ways of structuring these little mini workouts, and hopefully we'll have a lot more to come about this.